Today we're diving into a story that's really both personal and urgent. We're talking about the Jadallah family in Gaza and their plea for help. We have a GoFundMe page here from Faris Jadallah and his father Mohammed's letter.
Yeah.
And it paints a very heartbreaking picture of what's happening over there.
Yeah, what's striking is how this one family story, really encapsulates the broader crisis in Gaza, the ongoing conflict, the humanitarian needs, the constant threat of violence. It's all woven into their daily lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, imagine living with that fear of bombings like all the time and having to flee your home.
Right.
I mean, that's their reality right now.
Exactly.
They're living in a tent.
Yeah.
Mohammed's dealing with hemiplegia.
Wow.
Which is paralysis on one side of his body and diabetes. And then on top of that,
oh my God,
3 of his children are blind.
It's really important to understand the historical context here. This conflict goes back decades.
Yeah.
Multiple wars, blockades, political instability have created just this dire situation for people.
Right. And limited access to, like healthcare, clean water, even just stable housing.
Absolutely. It's incredibly limited.
Yeah. And you mentioned the environmental pollution too in Mohammed's letter.
Right.
What are some of the specific environmental challenges that are impacting families like the Jadallahs?
Well, they face a severe water crisis. Over 95% of the water supply is considered unsafe.
Man.
So that leads to a whole range of health issues on top of everything else. And then you've got the destruction from the conflict, debris, and toxins contaminating the environment even further.
It's heartbreaking to think about, all of this. And Mohammed talks about initially resisting the idea of leaving Gaza.
Right.
This is his home, but he's being forced to make this impossible choice.
Yeah.
Because of, fear for his family's safety and the medical care that they need.
It's a decision so many families in these situations face, leaving everything familiar, their home, their community, their sense of belonging. But staying means risking their lives and their families.
And the financial hurdle, too.
Yeah.
Evacuation is incredibly expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And they can't afford it on their own. And so that's why Faris, their son, launched this GoFundMe.
Right.
He's trying to raise enough to get his family to safety and to get that medical care that they need. And I mean, this is where I think we can step in.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're feeling moved by this story, please visit the link. We have it in our episode description.
Yeah.
To donate to Faris's GoFundMe. Every contribution, no matter how small, will bring them closer to safety.
Right. And I think while the situation may seem overwhelming, individual actions like this can make a difference.
Yeah.
This GoFundMe is a way to help them escape that immediate danger and get that care.
Yeah. Mohammed writes in his letter, "We have fled our home countless times, escaping the bombing and destruction. We suffer from poverty, lack of medical care, environmental pollution, and insecurity." I mean,
power.
Just a stark reminder of the human cost of this conflict.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the politics of it all, but at the core, this is about human suffering.
Right.
This is about a father trying to protect his family, a son desperately trying to help.
Yeah, and their story, it speaks to that universal need for safety, for security, and just a chance to live a life free from fear.
What's fascinating is how this one family story highlights the broader challenges so many people in Gaza face, the lack of health care, the environmental degradation, the constant threat of violence.
Yeah, and amidst all of this, Mohammed still clings to hope.
That's right.
He's reaching out, pleading for help, believing that a better future is possible.
Yeah.
And what's so powerful about these platforms like GoFundMe is that they allow us to respond to that,
to
offer that lifeline.
It allows individuals to come together, pool their resources, and make a tangible difference.
This is more than just donating money. It's about sending that message of solidarity, of hope.
Right.
It's about saying, we see you, we hear you, and we're here to help.
I love that.
So please consider visiting that link in our description to Faris's GoFundMe, and let's join hands to help the Jadallah family find safety and a chance at a better future.
It's a reminder that even amidst immense suffering, hope exists, hope in compassion, hope in collective action, and the belief that together we can make a difference.
Absolutely.
And what strikes me is how Mohammed's letter doesn't just describe, their hardship,
right.
also reveals their resilience.
Yeah.
Despite everything, he expresses gratitude for the support they've gotten so far and still holds on to hope for a better future.
That's what's so inspiring to me about their story, even facing these unimaginable challenges.
I know.
They haven't given up.
Yeah.
They're actively fighting for a better life.
And that's where I think the power of this GoFundMe lies. It gives them that chance, a way to take control, and seek a path towards safety and healing.
Exactly. It's about empowering them to take that next step to escape that cycle of suffering.
When we look at the situation in Gaza, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by how big it is. But this story reminds us that every single life matters.
And that even those small acts of kindness can make a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Donating to this campaign might seem like a drop in the ocean, but for the Jadallah family, it could be everything.
Think about it this way. What if each of us listening right now contributed even just a little bit?
Right.
The impact could be huge.
Yeah.
You could literally change their future.
It's about shifting our perspective, recognizing that we're not powerless.
Right.
We could be part of the solution.
And that choice doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as clicking that link in the description.
Yeah.
That https://rebrandly GoFundMe link
Mm-hmm.
and making a donation.
Every dollar brings them closer to that goal of evacuation and medical care.
Right.
It's a way to show our support and let them know that they're not alone.
While evacuation is a crucial first step, it's also important to remember that the journey to recovery is long.
Oh, absolutely.
The trauma, the scars, those will take time to heal.
A resource.
Yes, and that's where sustained support comes in.
Right. It's not just about getting them out of immediate danger.
Right.
It's about making sure they have what they need to rebuild.
Exactly.
And that support can take many forms, financial donations, of course, but it can also be raising awareness, advocating for change, even just listening to their story.
It's about recognizing our shared humanity, understanding that their struggle is part of a larger crisis that we need to pay attention to.
Their story is a powerful reminder that even amidst despair, there is hope.
Yeah.
Hope for a better future, for healing, for a world where families like theirs can just live in peace.
And that hope is ignited by people like Faraz, who are fighting for their loved ones, and by each of us who choose to stand with them.
So let's take that hope and turn it into action. Let's visit that link in our description and contribute to Faraz's GoFundMe. Let's show the Jadallah family that even across borders and continents, that power of compassion can reach them and offer some light in their darkest hour.
It's funny, when we talk about making a difference, it can feel so abstract. Like, what can one person really do in the face of something so big?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But then you hear a story like this, and it's like, oh, wait, actually, every little bit,
exactly,
every donation to that GoFundMe,
it matters.
It's not just money. It's like a brick in the foundation of a new life for them.
It's that difference between another night in the tent and maybe a place where they can breathe.
Yeah.
Where the children, especially those with disabilities, might actually get some help.
And it's not just the immediate needs either.
No.
Muhammad talks about the long-term damage, how even if the bombing stopped tomorrow, the scars are still there.
Right. That's where this idea of collective trauma is so important.
Yeah.
A whole generation has only known conflict and displacement.
It's hard to even imagine.
It has huge consequences,
yes.
Psychologically, socially, even economically. So even if they do get out, they're still carrying that weight.
Right.
It's not a magic solution, but it's a chance.
It is a chance
to start to heal.
And sometimes that chance is all it takes.
Yeah.
We see it all the time with refugees' families torn apart who manage to rebuild little by little.
It's pretty amazing.
It really shows you the strength of the human spirit.
But that strength needs support.
Absolutely.
Needs compassion and needs resourandly.
Yeah.
Which is why we keep coming back to that link in our description.
It all comes back to that.
That https://rebrandly GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where it all happens. That's where our empathy actually becomes help.
There's this quote by Margaret Mead that always sticks with me.
Oh, yeah.
Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has.
I love that. And it really applies here, doesn't it?
It does.
We, the listeners,
the
people who care enough to even be hearing this story right now, we are that small group.
Absolutely. And we have a choice to make. We can let this story pass us by, or we can be part of that change.
However small it might seem.
Exactly.
Muhammad ends his letter with this plea.
Oh, yeah.
Do not leave the Jadallah family to face their unknown fate, as every passing moment is a moment of life or death.
Wow.
And those words really highlight how urgent this is.
It's true.
We have a chance to make a difference, but that window is closing.
Every single moment.
So we urge you, our listeners, take action, click that link, donate what you can, and together let's help the Jadallah family find a path to a safer, healthier, and hopefully a more peaceful future.